The world of Formula One is no stranger to early retirements, but the possibility of one of the youngest and brightest stars, Max Verstappen, calling it quits has sent shockwaves through the racing world. The reigning world champion has hinted at leaving the sport once his contract with Red Bull expires in 2028, leaving fans and experts wondering what could prompt such a decision. Is he planning on pursuing other interests, or is he simply tired of the grueling demands of F1? Stay tuned to find out. Max Verstappen is a driver who has captured the imagination of Formula One fans around the world. He is a talented and charismatic racer who has already achieved great success in the sport. From his early days, Verstappen displayed incredible talent, and his ascent into Formula One racing history was swift and monumental. At the tender age of 17, Verstappen made history as the youngest driver ever to start a Formula One race. He quickly became known for his fearless and aggressive driving style, often challenging established champions like Lewis Hamilton. Verstappen's talent, coupled with his boundless ambition, quickly made him a fan favourite. Right now, no one is operating on Verstappen's level. A third straight championship would cement this as being F1's Verstappen era. Years where grandstands of orange-clad Dutch fans revel in the success of a generational talent. And at 25 years old, Verstappen may not even be near his peak. It's no secret that the car at a driver's disposal defines their chance of success. Yet the fashion in which Verstappen swept to last year's championship, winning a record 15 races to teammate Sergio Perez's 2, and the delivery of performances like the Belgian Grand Prix, where he went from 14th place to 1st in 12 laps and won the race by 18 seconds, make clear that he's not just the beneficiary of strong engineers. Despite his meteoric rise, Verstappen has hinted that his time in the sport may be limited. Let's explore possible reasons why the Dutch driver stated this. Max is well aware of the luck that is needed to succeed in the sport, but he also has a clear idea of what he needs to continue competing at the top level. Verstappen has made it clear that he wants to be driving competitively by the end of his current contract with Red Bull. He wants to be fighting for the championship and standing on the podium. If he cannot do that, he would rather compete elsewhere. The first time he said something related to his retirement was after the 2022 Abu Dhabi GP. Contracted with his childhood team Red Bull until the end of 2028, the reigning champion said, "I don't know after that, but it also probably depends on how competitive we are in 28. I've still got time. I don't want to make drastic decisions now." He continued, "I want to do other stuff. F1 is amazing, and I've achieved a lot, and I'm very happy and proud about it. But it's a lot of traveling and a lot of races. And at one point, what is more important? Is family more important, or is F1 more important? That's when you need to make your mind up. The question now is whether Red Bull can continue to develop a championship-winning car for the next 5 to 10 years. It's a challenging question, but they may be able to accomplish this feat with the help of superstar designer Adrian Newey. Newey first made his name during McLaren's years of victories in the late 1990s, but has been part of the Red Bull family since 2006. He wrote a thesis during his degree in aeronautics and astronautics at Southampton University on ground effect aerodynamics. This new set of regulations played right into his hands, so much so that you can imagine the 64-year-old cackling to himself somewhere in a quiet corner. While others have no answers, he has them all. Lewis Hamilton, who's been competing in Formula One for 17 seasons, confessed that he felt a rare sense of helplessness during a recent race in Jeddah. While Max Verstappen was closing in on him, the 7-time world champion could do nothing to stop him. He felt completely powerless because of the insane speed of the RB19. Hamilton stated about this year's Red Bull car, "I have definitely never seen a car so fast. When we Mercedes were fast, we were not that fast. It is the fastest car I've seen, especially compared to the rest." At this stage, Red Bull's dominance is overwhelming, and it could continue for years to come, thanks to their possession of one of the best engineering teams in the sport. Consequently, it is possible that Max Verstappen will still have one of the best cars on the F1 grid in 2028. Another reason why Verstappen may choose to retire early is due to the changes in F1's race weekend format. Recent developments in the sport have raised concerns for Verstappen, particularly with the introduction of the F1 sprint weekend format. The Dutch driver is not pleased with this change and believes that it undermines the essence of the sport. He has made it clear that he would quit Formula One if additional sprint races are added to the schedule in the future. The F1 sprint format was first introduced during the 2021 season, and it was seen at 3 races. It returned for another 3 races for 2022, but this year it has been doubled to 6 events. Verstappen has been vocal in his opposition to the format from the very beginning, and he has now warned that he will not stick around if Formula One continues to make such changes. There are also proposals to introduce standalone qualifying events for the sprint and the main Grand Prix, which could further change the format of the sport. Verstappen's stance on the matter is clear, however. He is a fierce competitor who wants to race on equal terms with his opponents, and he does not want any changes to the format that could compromise the integrity of the sport. Verstappen believes that this type of race does not suit the DNA of Formula One. He stated, Even if you change the format, I don't find that in the DNA of Formula 1 to do these kinds of sprint races. I hope there won't be too many changes, otherwise I won't be around for too long. The F1 schedule has increased in recent years, leading to concerns that the calendar is becoming oversaturated. Verstappen has suggested that if F1 wants excitement every day, it should scrap Friday sessions and run 2-day events. He believes that reducing the weekend and only racing on Saturday and Sunday would make those 2 days more exciting. Max Verstappen said, "We're heading into seasons where you have, at one point, 24, 25 races because that's where we're going to head into. And if we start adding even more stuff, it's not worth it for me anyway. I'm not enjoying that." Verstappen argues that F1 should concentrate on congesting the field and having more teams fighting at the front rather than focusing on sprint events. He believes that getting more teams able to fight for the win will naturally make the show great. Max continued, "And how do you get even more action? It's about getting the cars closer and getting more teams able to fight for the win. And I think naturally the show will be great. If we have 6 or 7 teams already fighting for a win, that will be insane. Then you really don't need to change anything." Verstappen believes that the sprint races are all about surviving rather than racing. He prefers to keep his car alive and ensure that he has a good race car for Sunday. He said, "For me, when you have a quick car, there's nothing to risk. I prefer to just keep my car alive and make sure you have a good race for Sunday." Currently, Max has been the only driver to roll the grid dynamics away from Mercedes. The star and great driver that he is, his dominance appears to be getting stronger as he is the kind of driver to make the most out of his drives on the weekend. Should Verstappen exit the sport early, it would buck a trend of modern drivers racing into their late 30s and beyond. Lewis Hamilton is still racing at 37 and looks likely to race into his 40s, while Fernando Alonso, already 41, is on a multi-year deal with Aston Martin. Michael Schumacher also returned to F1 in his 40s. So will Max become an F1 pundit? In an interview, Verstappen revealed, "You will not see me as an analyst or in a team role. I don't have the motivation for that. If I no longer drive myself, I want to do other fun things." It is clear that Verstappen intends to pursue other interests outside of F1 once he hangs up his racing suit. Rallying could potentially be the avenue Verstappen takes when he eventually retires from F1. Verstappen has expressed an interest in rallying with his father, Jos Verstappen, who is fully immersed in rallying. Max said, "I want to, but he doesn't want to at the moment, so I need to convince him. I hope, of course, in the coming years we can do that." Verstappen has also shown interest in endurance racing, having attempted to win the 24 Hours of Le Mans virtual, though he was unsuccessful. Could the 31-year-old Verstappen in 2028 go for endurance racing? Or could he seek the prestigious Triple Crown of motorsport? Only time will tell. Whatever path he chooses, it is clear that Verstappen will keep his focus on his family, as he has shown himself to be a devoted family man. He has expressed a desire to have children in the future and a closer relationship with his family members. It is this focus on family and personal fulfillment that will guide Verstappen in his post-F1 career. What's your thought about Max Verstappen retiring early? Let us know in the comments section below.